think you actually probably need a degree of faith. And you'd be correct. You actually do. Baptism is it's not magic. It's a miracle. It's an act of God's grace. It's a gift of the Lord, and it requires faith. In fact, salvation requires faith in baptism. I think there's two other things. I think the Eucharist, because John 6, Jesus says, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you don't have life within you. And also, Jesus makes it very clear that he says that not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only those who do the will of my Father in heaven. So it seems like there's four things: baptism, Eucharist, faith, obviously, and doing the Father's will. So these are four pretty much kind of conditions for salvation. But going back to baptism, we need faith and baptism. Okay. But if there's a baby getting baptized, how can that baby have faith? Great question, camper. Maybe it's not the baby's faith that's operative in this situation. If you go back to Mark's Gospel, chapter 2, there's this story. I know you know this story. It's the story of this paralyzed man, the paralytic. He's on a mat, and he has four friends who are carrying him to Jesus. But there's so many people who want to come to Jesus to be healed that they can't get him in the house. So what do the four friends do? They climb up on the roof. They do a little remodeling, make a little skylight there, a little Chip and Joanna Gaines kind of situation, and they lower the man down on the mat in front of Jesus. The next line in Mark's Gospel and in Matthew's Gospel is, when Jesus saw their faith, meaning the faith of the friends, he says to the man, your sins are forgiven. So it's not the man's faith itself, himself. It's not him. It's not his faith that speaks for him. It's actually the faith of the four friends that speaks for the man. And if that can happen with this man who's paralyzed and his four friends, that also is operative. That also can happen in baptism. Because here's parents who profess the faith. In fact, the rite of baptism is the parents and godparents profess the faith. And this is the faith in which we want this child to be baptized. And so, yes, it's not magic. It's an action of faith and this work of God's grace. It is completely a gift.